It's my regular, I'm talking. Good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Welcome everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining. If you don't mind, can you please hit that like button? If you don't mind, I appreciate it.
Um, I've been sitting in the parking lot for the past 41 minutes, and you just not getting her to open up the building.
Yep. It bees that way sometimes. Apologize. I apologize. You got a key. Why you ain't just come in?
My key don't work no more.
What had happened to it?
I don't know. It wouldn't work.
Oh, well, we'll get that checked out. Uh, Let me get to the chat. Welcome everybody. I appreciate y'all coming in. Hit that like button if you don't mind for me. Thanks to all my mods. Well, thanks to Mad, The Truth. The Truth, you need to be hitting the link. What are you doing? Ebooks, Mad. Shout out to y'all for being in the building. Thank you, Trey. True. So this the Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry for my tardiness. I am. But we're gonna get into it, okay? And so today, what we're gonna do, and for those that follow, it's been about 10 days since I've been on this channel, but we're back. We are back. We are back. We are back, and we're gonna continue from where we left off, okay? And I gotta say, shout out to the people that support me, that support this commentary. I appreciate it so much. I do.
Somebody
Um,
won't say something to you. Say it.
who?
Hello.
Say it. She can hear you now. Say it.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, ebooks.
No, this
Go back on
ain't
mute.
ebook time. This is not.
Trey, you got to get your women straight.
Yeah.
Your baby will get you in trouble. You got to definitely get your woman.
Man, she talking about she's sorry, but she know what she doing. She said, "Hey, truth," when she asked me what I was doing. You a hater.
Because you know that right there get you cut.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Not by me though, but I'm just saying. You don't want that to happen with somebody else. I'm just saying. Anywho, what baby Pete over there doing other than never trust a big button up? God. It's what's up, the truth?
Good morning, boss.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, y'all. So listen, we're gonna get back into where we left off, and we're back, y'all. And I listen. I'm gonna make y'all a promise that I would not be gone from this commentary like that again. I think I've been gone for like 10 days. Yeah, it's been about 10 days. But I'm back. I'm back into it. I am motivated or whatever you want to call it to continue. So we left off with I can't remember his name, y'all. I apologize. I didn't write it down. Oh, well, I got it written down, but we're gonna today we're starting testimony from Nathan Bryan. His name is Nathan Bryan Barnado or something of that nature. They're gonna say it on when he gets sworn in, but he's from the Colleton County Sheriff's Department, okay? And so today we start with new testimony from this guy. And I'm thinking if we get to it, which I'm not for sure we will, wanna after him, wanna Paul's friends is supposed to testify. I don't know if we're gonna get to it today, but we'll try. But if not, we'll continue with it tomorrow, okay? So with that being said, like I said, make sure y'all hit the like button, okay? Feel free to support the channel, support the commentary, and we're gonna get into it, okay? So with that being said, let's do it.
Silas asked for a quick recap.
What does she want to recap on? I'm not understanding.
I guess she wants.
What didn't happen the past 10 days? Well, pretty much Silly's they in court. Dick doing a terrible job of defending his client. They tried to nail down on could somebody else have been in the room to contaminate the evidence and all of that stuff. And they did a lot of talking about blackout rounds. That's where we at.
Hey, True.
Now you want to say, hey,
baby.
Truth.
Hey, sweetie pie.
Actually, I didn't know you.
Yeah, basically what we've been covering so far. Basically, what we've been covering so far is ballistic evidence. It's been a lot of, just expert,
They're trying to support the two-shooter aspect.
Right.
By discrediting whoever they put on the stand as either contaminating the evidence,
the crime scene,
or the possibility there could have been a second shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So let's see what Nathan Bryan, I think he goes by Bryan. Let's see what he has to say. So here we go, y'all. So the jury's coming back in, the judge is sitting there waiting. And yeah, we're gonna get into it.
This judge has the patience of a saint.
He don't have a choice. He old.
I'll be like, look here, can you dummies get this together?
They do too much for me. Both sides.
You could have had all this done while the jury was coming in or whatever.
Yeah. They really do too much for them not to be doing nothing at all. Especially the defense.
The jury is present, sir. Sir, thank you. Let me call your next witness. Yes, sir.
State of South Carolina, now called David Barnado.
Did he say Marmaduke?
Barnado.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought I heard.
Yeah, you're gonna hear it again when he gets to the stand.
I do.
State your name again for the record. Spell your last name.
My name is Dathan Brian Barnado. Last name is Varnado.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Dathan Barnado.
Yes, I go by Brian.
Okay. And your rank, sir?
I'm a sergeant.
Sergeant Barnado, would you tell the ladies and gentlemen of this jury, please, about Brian Barnado, where you're from, your background, a little bit of your family, and how you got in law enforcement?
I'm from right here in Walterboro, South Carolina. I started in the Department of Corrections in 1996. I worked in the Department of Corrections state prison system for 18 years, and now I've been here with the Collin County Sheriff's Office almost 10.
Okay, and I know you kind of saw a huge pull up and maybe speak in there a little bit, if you don't mind, sorry. So you worked in the prison system for how long?
18 years.
And then after that, you came to Colleton?
Yes, I came to Colleton in 2013.
And tell the folks what different areas have you worked in Colleton?
In the sheriff's office, for about a year, I worked the road. Then in 2014, I went to investigations, primarily gang investigations, and I worked in that area until now present.
In other, to tell them about your training in law enforcement. Y'all go through the Criminal Justice Academy?
Criminal Justice Academy.
Periodic. Talk about it a little bit, please.
South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy. I believe at that time it was 11 weeks. It changes. I was there 11 weeks, and we go through the basic training for law enforcement through the legals, traffic stops, so forth. But and also have training there in gang investigations also. They provide.
And are you married?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 2.
Does your wife work?
Yes.
Where does she work?
Works for the city of Walterboro.
City of Walterboro. Now, if I could please take you back, Sergeant, to June, specifically June 7th of 2021. What was your role with the Colleton County Sheriff's Department that day, please?
I worked investigations during that time also. Of course, the night of this incident, I was off at that time. I was called in later.
And were you on call?
We somewhat
Pretty much everybody get called in.
Yes, sir. All investigators got called in.
And where were you told to respond to? Where did you respond to, Sergeant?
The location on Moselle Road.
4147 Moselle Road?
That's right.
In Colleton County.
In Colleton County.
Please tell the ladies and gentlemen, when you were coming up to Moselle, well, first of all, do you remember what entrance, how you went in?
Yes, I went in by the dog kennels, that entrance. Not all the way down the park, near the roadway, and walked in.
Had you been to that residence prior to June 7th when you got there in 2021?
It had been some years when I was on the road. I responded to an alarm call out there one time.
Years prior to this?
Yes.
Did you know where to go when you got there? I mean, what were you instructed to do? Do you know where to go on the property?
I was told that driveway where the dog kennels are, don't come in where the brick columns are.
Okay, Miss Monica, we'll send up prayers for your granddaughter, sweetheart. Okay. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, they're getting some type of exhibit ready. They're the slowest people
I'm going
ever.
to mark the stage 303. Sergeant, I've never shown you this before, have I?
No.
Do you recognize this is an aerial view of Moselle? And when you responded?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, without objection, 303. And you said you came in the second entrance?
Yes, we want to point to it.
Can you do that?
Right here. I parked somewhere in this area. And I walked the rest of the way.
And Sergeant, you get out of your car and then tell them what you did next.
When I got on scene, there was other emergency vehicles there. Other investigators had beat me there. Pretty much I made contact with my supervisor and asked him what he needed me, what area he needed me in, what he needed me doing.
And who is your supervisor?
Captain Jason Chapman.
And what did he tell you or ask you to do? Or instruct you to do?
He instructed me to find Mr. Alex Murdoch and take GSR of his hands, gunshot residue.
Prior to that, did you have an occasion did you see the bodies of who we all know now are Paul and Maggie? Did you see their bodies?
Yes.
Did you get close to them or inspect them?
I didn't inspect them, maybe 10 feet, maybe.
Okay. So you're able to see them from a distance,
Yes.
Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
So your captain had instructed that you find Alex Murdahl and attempt to get a GSR kit, or to take GSR money.
Minister kit to, yes, sir.
All right, and I don't think there'll be any objection to this. Tell the folks what is GSR?
But it stands for gunshot residue. The kit itself tests for gunshot residue on the hands is where it's administered to the hands of an individual.
At the Colleton County Sheriff's Department and maybe other places, are you trained in how to collect that from an individual?
Yes, we train in-house.
And
it's pretty self-explanatory.
okay, pretty simple procedure.
That's right.
Had you taken GSR from a person prior to this?
Yes.
Okay. How many times? You got any idea?
20.
Now, when you got there, how far was the defendant, Alex Murdahl, from where you were? Where was he? When you were told to go check his hands?
He was at this time when I saw him, he was behind the yellow tape they had up the backside. It's actually, there's an area between the sheds or the dog kennels and his home.
Okay. And after the captain had asked you to do that, what'd you do?
I went and got a kit and approached Mr. Murdoch.
Had you ever seen Alex Murdahl before that night?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know him before that night?
Yes.
Okay. Well, can you tell us how you knew him?
I testified as an expert witness in one of his cases.
An expert witness?
Yes.
Is that the gang which you said earlier you're back?
Yes, it had to do with a gang case.
Wait a minute. There's gangs in that little town?
That's what I was thinking, but I ain't say.
They got everything in their town.
Wait, he just said everybody knows everybody. So they have a gang in that town?
Apparently.
Aren't there gangs everywhere? The truth is, somebody got to do all the illegal underworld stuff in every city there is. It's somebody on top of everything.
But okay, I'm just saying that's a little poor dunk town.
It might just be busting his little friends just the gangbangers. It might only be 4 of them, but they're a little gang.
Okay. Maybe he defended a gang member. Because
I thought he was. I didn't think he was. Is he a criminal attorney?
I don't. Yeah, he dabbles in everything. Not very good, but he dabbles in everything. But
I didn't even think he was a criminal attorney.
I mean, I don't think Alex was in a gang. Was Alex in a gang?
Alex was the head of the Crips.
There you go. Yeah, he was the Crips. He was the head of the Crips in that town. Okay, I just wanted to. I was like, really. He kept saying gang unit. I'm like, they needed a gang unit in that town.
Yes, because you also know the truth. These people now, they make up their own gangs, so it's not just the big ones that everybody knows. They're making their own gangs and they terrorizing places like Atlanta and shit.
Oh, like the Cletus gang. So he was part of the Cletus gang.
The Murdoch Mafia.
Yeah, Cletus, Bo, and Billy Joe. Okay. Nice. I saw that funny. All right, go ahead, continue.
And do you mind what you testified to?
It was some terminology that was used in a phone call, and he wanted, in my area of expertise with gang lingo and gang slang, he wanted me to testify to a statement that was said on a phone call.
So you weren't involved in the actual case?
No.
Okay, so Mr. Defendant Alex Murdahl asked you to come testify as an expert?
Yes.
Okay. And was he sitting over here at the time at this table?
Yes,
I mean, the prosecution table.
prosecution table, yes.
In this courtroom.
It was here at Hampton, I'm 100% sure.
In a courtroom.
Right.
But I'm curious, what were you called to testify about?
Like I said, there was some terminology used in a phone call. He was prosecuting in this case.
What were you asked to testify the terminology? I'm just curious.
An individual was on the phone telling someone to go and get the whistle, and he wanted me to clarify what that term
Get the
meant.
whistle?
Yes.
Shout out to Venus. Thank you, Venus. Hey, True Money Boy. True, everybody just sending my support. Thank you. Thank you so much, Venus. I appreciate your support, sweetie. Y'all feel free to hit the Cash App, support the channel, hit the like button, please. Thank you, Venus.
But he was referring to a firearm.
Okay, the whistle. So you were interpreting that a whistle meant a firearm?
Right.
Okay, and the inmate wanted somebody to do something with the whistle?
That's what I was told the phone call was about, yes.
Okay. Did you testify?
I did.
And when was that?
It's probably been 5, 6 years.
So on June 7th of 2021, when you saw the defendant, did he recognize you as far as you can tell?
Yes.
Okay. Did he recognize you as far as you could tell?
Yes.
Did he say your name?
Yes.
Okay. Did you say his name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you tell the jury how you went about to do your job?
I'm sorry, say again?
How'd you go about doing your job? What'd you do? What'd you say to him?
I approached him, I had the kit, and I went to Mr. Murrah and told him I had to administer this kit to his hands. He stated he understood the procedure, and just a few minutes, and I was out of his way.
And I do think not to do, but Your Honor, can you come down here? Yes. Please. I'm going to show you what's been marked States 301. Do you recognize this kit in general?
Yes.
And did you look inside?
No, different, no.
Okay, would you look inside? Do you recognize this type of kit? Is this the type of kit you used on the defendant Alex Murdaugh on June 7th of 2021?
Actually, the type of kit I believe had 4 vials, but it's the same idea.
Okay. Well, they used to have 4, but now they have 2, correct? Okay. You're on 301 without objection.
That's correct. No, yes.
Submit. If you stay here, let's pull out 301 and just show the jury what you did. And I've got some questions, Sarge. You okay?
Sound good?
Okay. What's the first thing you do when you get ready to take a gunshot residue from somebody?
Well, I have my own gloves. I put on gloves before I administer this kit.
Okay.
To the individual.
All right.
I explain to him what I'm doing and what it's for.
Please.
Yes, sir. I explain to him what it's for and why I'm doing it.
Okay. And you looking at them?
Yes.
How far are you from them?
By you and I.
Okay. And this night, let's go back there right now to June 7th. Are you looking at Mr. Murdaugh?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all knew each other?
Yes.
Did you smell the alcohol on him?
No.
Okay. Did he appear to be under the influence of anything to you? Alcohol, drugs, anything else?
No.
Okay. Could he understand what Brian Barnado was asking to him as far as you knew? Did he understand your questions?
Yeah, as far as I knew.
And could you understand his responses? Just talking.
Yes.
Okay. And were his answers to you timely?
Yes, they were.
Subject matter appropriate?
Yes.
Okay. When you asked him if you could take a gunshot residue, did he comply?
He complied.
And I believe there were just 2 used this time. They used to do 4.
Yeah.
Can you show the jury how you do it specifically?
Let's see, it's labeled. It's pretty self-explanatory. On here, it has the left hand, right hand.
You mind touching me and just do it on me like you did on him?
Come on.
All right, and what's that one marked on there?
This is for the left hand. Okay. It has a flat surface on the inside of the cap. Touch all the fingers, thumb, put the hand over the back of the hand, and full extend the fingers.
Okay. Did you place it back?
Yes, and you put it back inside the bag.
Okay.
And you move on to the next one.
All right.
Do the same thing with the other hand.
Same thing with the other hand.
Yes.
Go ahead and do it, please.
This, I think a lot of things are done in court that's so unnecessary, and this is one of them. Like, I don't even understand why I don't understand why he's having him to show how you do a gunshot residue test or whatever. But hey, it is what it is.
I think he's worried that the defense is going to say, so how many you've done? Did you administer it right? Are you sure?
They don't know. They don't. I mean, even if that's so, the jury still wouldn't know. They don't know how to administer a damn gunshot residue test. They don't. So they still. It's like, okay. Hey, Lady Hood Chronicle.
And so this whole time you're that close to him and you're doing that?
Yes.
Were his hands shaking?
I do not recall his hand shaking.
Now, after you do that, and I got a couple other questions I'll let Sam ask if you don't mind. Okay. Do you, to be right where we are now, to tell them what we're doing, do you document it?
Yes.
Okay. And, okay. We'll show you what's 300. Does this relate to what we're doing right now, Sergeant?
It does.
And, you're on a 300 without objection?
No. It's admitted.
Now, Sergeant, does it say what time you just took that potential gunshot residue evidence from the defendant?
Yes, it's right here at the bottom.
And did you fill this out?
I did.
You put your name at top,
Yes.
badge number,
Everything but this. This is not me.
and date of birth. It's got the suspect's name, Richard Alexander Murdoch.
Right.
And his date of birth's what?
5/27/68.
Now, you didn't know that, did you? You didn't know his date of birth. So did you have to ask?
Yes.
Did he have any trouble telling you his date of birth?
No.
Okay. So you put that down when he told you. Subject is living, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll bring that out with SLED later, but you took the sample off a live individual.
Yes.
No question about it. And you filled out the rest of the form, correct?
I did.
No gunshot wound?
No.
No, it says any debris or blood or subject, this is what the form says. Any debris or blood or subjects on the hand, and what'd you mark?
No.
So does that mean you had to look at his hands to mark no?
Yes.
Okay, and so when you were looking at his hands, did you see any debris or blood on the suspect's hands?
No, I did not.
And you looked at it?
Right.
Okay. How would you describe it?
Well, I recall his hand was clean.
And underneath there, it says lawyer, honey, the rest of it
Well,
said
it has
evidence.
some questions.
Okay. Okay. And he signed it, correct?
No.
Okay, that's your assessment. My bad, I couldn't see. Okay. One final question while I've got you up here. Did you observe what he was wearing? His shirt, his shorts, his shoes?
I do not remember his shoes or his pants or what he had on. I do remember his shirt.
Okay. And can you describe the shirt?
It was a white t-shirt.
Did it appear to have any blood on it from looking right here?
No, naked eye, I didn't see him.
Okay. Did it appear to be dirty?
No.
And is this also the chain of custody that you filled out for the GSR?
Yes.
Okay, and you turned it over, I believe, to Agent Worley?
It's Worley.
Okay. I believe 12 without objection. You can have a seat there. Okay.
Admitted.
Now, if complaint states 300 again, down at the bottom. It's got date and time shooting occurred. It's got 6/7/21.
So what shooting occurred? Yes.
Okay. Where'd you get that information from?
From other people on the scene.
Okay. And time, what time does it have by there?
I have 10 p.m.
And where'd you get that from? You know?
More like it was my supervisor told me on the scene.
I see that. And the time this collected was 11:15, correct?
That's correct.
Sergeant Ryan, one of those individuals that you collected the gunshot, performed the gunshot residue kit on, and the individual you described as his hands is clean to see in the courtroom.
Yes, he is.
Would you please point him out for the ladies and gentlemen?
He has a gray blazer and white button-up shirt.
We'd like the record to reflect. That's all we have. Thank you, Justice.
Cross-examination.
Deputy Barnado, this individual right here, the defendant Murdoch, Richard Alexander Murdoch. Consented.
Okay, so he's being cross-examined now, y'all. The prosecutor is done. Like I said, I don't understand that testimony, but hey, it is what it is. So now he's being cross-examined.
To you taking his DSR, correct?
Yes.
And he cooperated with you fully that night, correct?
Yes, he did.
And you had talked about a case that he had worked, and he was a prosecutor of criminal drug cases in this courthouse or maybe Tampa, but right? And you worked on that case, not only with Richard Alexander Murdoch, but his father, Randolph Murdoch, correct?
That's correct.
That was a drug prosecution of a defendant who was suspected to be involved in the Cowboys drug gang. Is that correct?
He was an affiliate, yes.
The Cowboys drug gang. Y'all got that? You too? Right?
They call themselves
Cowboy.
Cowboy. If they ever showed up at like a convention for gangs and stuff, I think they may have been laughed at.
The Cowboy drug gang. That's what the gang was called, y'all.
Like in the Warriors when they all got together and they all had sections they were pointing out. And over here we got the Cowboy drug gang. They actually put drug in their name, like dummies.
Damn. That's what they would call y'all.
And that was a dangerous outfit that a lot of folks were prosecuted. Is that correct?
Basis for the objection.
Could you ask the question again, please?
The Cowboys were known for being dangerous in this area, correct?
Yes, sir.
No, they were sweet and kind and loving.
And in that case, I think you thought maybe 5 years, but it could have been sooner than that, 2 or 3 years ago.
It could have been. It's been some years. I'm not sure exactly what year it was.
Yes. Now you were shown this aerial photograph, and this is exhibit number 303. Have you been out to the property since the night on June the 7th?
Yes.
Okay. Now this aerial photograph, you don't know what date this photograph was taken, do you?
I do not.
But you do know that this land here, frankly, right through there, were you aware that at one point in time, that area right there was used as a runway?
I did not know that.
Okay. But you do know that pine trees were planted all through here, correct? And
There are trees there, yes.
there's a stand of pine trees there that are not in this photograph. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, thank you. And now the form, if I can find it, sir. The collection form asked, it says subject's full name, and the subject was Mr. Murdoch.
That's correct.
Okay. And did you, I mean, was he cordial and respectful
Oh, yes.
to you?
Yes.
And you've been around him on multiple occasions, I take it, working on that case and perhaps other things?
2 times, yes.
And in your presence, has he always been respectful to law enforcement?
Yes.
Has always treated you with respect?
Yes.
Did he treat you with respect on the night of June the 7th?
Yes, he did.
And did he tell you he understood that you had to do a job and take his gunshot residue off his hands, correct?
That's right.
And he was shook up, was he not?
Oh, yes, he was shook up.
Now, you showed how the collection is done and how you put the stamp on the front and on the back. Did you do a thorough collection of Mr. Murdoch's hands that night?
Yes.
And did you intentionally leave any part of his hand untested?
No.
And you did your level best to get every particle of GSR off his hands, according to using that equipment that you had,
The
sir.
way I was trained and taught, yes.
And were you aware that earlier in the night after he called 911, that he went up to the house to get a shotgun and came back down? And when first responding deputy, I believe it was Green, came to the scene, that he seized that shotgun? Did you know that when you got
At that time, no.
You learned it later?
Yes.
And you're aware that gunshot residue can transfer from a gun onto a subject's hands, correct?
It's possible.
Now, you don't do any testing of gunshot residue, do you?
No.
That's done back at the SLED lab?
That's right.
Okay. And you didn't test any gunshot residue, well, I scratched that, I apologize. Did you collect any gunshot residue or attempt to collect any gunshot residue off any other part of Mr. Murdoch's body?
No.
So you didn't try to take anything off his legs or?
No, the test is not for that.
Okay. Later in that evening, his clothes were collected for gunshot residue testing. Were you involved in that in any form or fashion?
No.
Deputy Barnado, I'm going to show you exhibit 59. I just want to ask you if 59 fairly and accurately depicts Paul Murdoch as you saw him lying on the ground outside the feed room that night.
Yes.
Your Honor, I introduced defendants 59 into evidence under seal. I'm not going to publish it. We just need to get it in for the record without objection, I believe.
That's correct. Good minute.
May I have the court's indulgence? That's all I have. Thank you.
Just one follow-up. He was asking about that case you testified in. So, Alex Murdoch, did he call you as an expert on how to interpret whistle from an inmate's phone call who was trying to hide a weapon?
Oh, that's what I understood it to be, yes.
Whistle.
I wasn't part of the actual investigation.
That's all. Thank you. Anything further?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let me call you next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. We call Rogan Gibson.
Rogan Gibson. That's the name of the friend, y'all. Rogan Gibson.
This is the one the dog was in the kennel.
Yeah, yeah.
You're from the testimony, like, the recording that you have to do the truth and what you got.
I do.
You're the witness, so you put your name Jenny for the record. Spell your last name.
Rogan Gibson, Gibson.
Mr. Gibson, how you doing today?
Good.
Ask the court reporter something, we'll give her a chance to catch up. Good. Mr. Gibson, why don't you introduce yourself to the jury a little bit? Tell us, where you grew up, where you went to high school, just a little bit about yourself before we get to your testimony.
I went to Wade Hampton High School. I'm from Hampton.
And you working now?
I am.
All right, what field do you work in?
The agriculture field.
All right. Why don't you see if you can pull that mic up just a little bit and scoot up just a hair so you're speaking into it. I appreciate it. You said you're working in agriculture, is that right?
That's correct.
And currently still working in agriculture?
That's correct.
Back in June of 2021, what were you doing? Working in agriculture?
That's correct.
What kind of job did you have?
I was farming, operating equipment.
Operating equipment. Okay. And let me ask you, did you get to know Paul Murdoch?
I did.
All right. And tell me, how old were you when you got to know Paul Murdoch?
I've known him all my life, real good, probably when I was 11, 12 years old.
And how did y'all get to meet one another? How did you become closer?
I lived next to him.
Okay. And when did that happen?
When I was 11, 12 years old.
11 to 12? Y'all went to school together?
Paul was a little bit younger than me. I didn't go to school with him.
Okay. When y'all were growing up, what kind of things y'all like to do together?
We enjoyed the outdoors, hunting, fishing, hanging around the farm.
Were you close friends with Paul until the day he was murdered?
I was.
Tell the jury just a little bit about Paul. Give me just a little sense of who he was as a person.
He loved outdoors, hunting, fishing, hanging around. Really enjoyed the farm out there at Moselle.
Fun guy to be around?
He was.
Over the years, as you got to be closer friends with Paul, did you get to be closer friends with the rest of the family?
I was.
And was that just Paul and his brother and his parents, or was it sort of the Murdochs, the larger family as well?
The whole family.
And over those years, as you became close with them, how close would you say? How close did you become?
Real close, like a second family.
Like a second family to you?
Yes, sir.
Paul, did you have a nickname for him, or did he have a nickname?
Rooster.
His brother Buster, did he have a name or a nickname?
Called him Bus.
Bus. What'd you call Maggie?
Miss Maggie.
What did you call Mr. Randolph, Paul's grandfather?
Handsome.
Handsome. How about Miss Libby, his wife, Paul's grandmother?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Maggie's parents? Did you have nicknames for them?
I called him Papa T and Grandma.
Papa T and Grandma?
That's
like
correct.
M-A-R at the end?
That's correct.
What'd you call Alec?
Mr. Elliott, or Big Red.
Mr. Alec or Big Red. You said they were like a second family to you.
That's correct.
Being that close to this family, did you frequently go out to Moselle?
All the time.
You ever go to, did they have other properties too that you ever went to?
They did.
What were the other properties they had? And hold up the sirens if you will. What were the other properties that they had?
Edisto Beach, we went there a lot.
They had a house at Edisto Beach?
That's correct.
And any other properties while you were growing up that you recall?
The property in Hampton, the house in Hampton.
Did they ultimately sell that property?
They did.
You remember about how long ago that was?
Not real sure.
When you would go out, when did they get Moselle? I mean, just roughly.
I believe it was like my freshman year in high school. So
2014, something like that?
No, it was, I graduated in 14, so probably around 2010 maybe.
Okay. And over the years, did you spend a lot of time out there?
I did.
What were some of the things that you would do with Paul out there?
We would hunt, fish, hang around.
Right around the property?
Yeah, work the food plots, work equipment.
I got States 303 right here, this poster board. Can I ask you to come on down with the judge's permission, and let's kind of point out some things to the jury. All right, do you recognize this image? And what is that? Keep your voice up if you could.
That's a picture of the overview of the Moselle property.
Okay. And where's the residence in this picture?
Right here.
All right. And is there a driveway to that residence?
That would be the main driveway.
Do you see Moselle Road on this particular image? Going right down there. All right. What's this red roof building right there?
That's the whole airplane hangar.
Okay. And did y'all have a name for that? Did you call it the hangar?
Yeah, shed, the hangar.
The shed or the hangar? Any other structures out there?
That was the newer shed, the tractor shed. The dog kennel.
Okay.
And that's the skinning shed.
Skin and shed? And just real quick, what's the skin and shed for?
This process. Wow, we came out there. Came out there.
Was there a driveway to that part of the property?
There was.
Is that where it went right there?
What's that?
That's where it went right there that you just pointed?
Yeah, the driveway to the shed right there.
Was that driveway commonly used?
It was.
Was there, what's the structure right here?
That's the old cabin, the hunting cabin.
Okay. And how about across the street? Was there any structures across the street?
There was.
All right, what was it there across?
Shooting house.
All right, and can you just point roughly where that be? Right at the top of the picture? Okay. All right, and what is this right here?
The pond.
All right. And when y'all were, what was the shooting house used for?
We were sighting rifles. Shooting kind of at that angle. So we're target down here.
All right. Would y'all shoot rifles from the shooting house?
We would.
What about shotguns? Would y'all shoot those over at that shooting area?
Yeah, most times we shot them around the pond.
Around the pond? Is this a line of trees right here? And on the other side of that line of trees, what did y'all call that?
Dove field.
The dove field? Okay. All right, you go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. You mentioned that y'all like to ride the property and shoot and hunt out there. Is that right?
That's correct.
What kind of hunting would y'all do out there?
Anything we could hunt.
Okay. Well, give me some examples if you would, please.
Hog hunt, deer, turkeys,
Hog hunting, deer, and turkeys.
dove, quail.
Let me ask you this: turkey season. Do you know when that is in South Carolina?
It's like March, mid-March to early May.
Okay. All right. So it's a fairly short period of time in that time period.
That's correct.
You mentioned hogs first. Tell me about the hog hunting. How would y'all go hog hunting?
A lot of times we'd shoot them at night with a thermal scope.
Okay. And what weapon would y'all use to shoot those hogs with the thermal scope?
300 blackout.
Okay. And whose weapon was that?
I think it was Buster's.
Well, tell me about what you know about the blackouts, how the family got those blackouts.
They bought two of them, one for Paul and one for Buster.
Okay. And can you describe those two? Did you see both of them back in the day?
They were similar build. One was black, one was like a green tannish color.
Okay. And did anything ever happen to one of them?
Yes, one of them was stolen.
Okay. And were you present when that happened or around when that happened?
I wasn't present, I was just told about it.
And what was the story you were told about that?
I was told somebody took it out of Paul's truck at a party.
At a party? Okay. How long ago was that?
I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, years?
Yes, it's been 5-6 years probably.
Okay. All right, let me show you something real quick. I'm going to show you what's already been entered into evidence. It states 163. I'm going to have you look at that image and particularly what's there on that pool table. Do you recognize that?
That's a picture of a 300 blackout.
And is that the one that you and Paul would take hog hunting?
Yes, that's one of them.
You said one got stolen. To your knowledge, was there ever a replacement gun?
I don't remember a replacement.
You don't remember replacement. You remember Paul using the black one, is that right?
That's correct, or either the green and tan one before it was stolen.
Before it was stolen,
That's correct.
5 or 6 years ago.
Correct.
What other guns did Paul use a lot that he favored?
He favored a Super Black Eagle shotgun, 12 gauge.
All right, let me show you another image if I could. I'm gonna show you what's already been admitted into evidence. It states 3, and see if you recognize that.
I do.
All right, tell me what that is.
That's a Super Black Eagle.
All right, and do you specifically recognize that gun?
Yes,
And what gun is that?
that's Paul's gun.
And how can you tell?
The camo pattern and the strap.
Would Paul frequently have weapons with him when he was on the property or in his truck or that sort of thing?
He would.
All right, what sort of weapons would he frequently have with him?
A lot of times he carried the 300 Blackout in his vehicle, and then, I mean, sometimes pistols, different shotguns. But
Would he carry that shotgun a lot as well?
yes, I have seen him carry that shotgun.
I'll show you what's been frequently entered into evidence. It states 4. Will you do me a favor? You see that box of gloves right there? We just put them on the floor behind you and just kind of out of the way. I'm gonna have you look in here and see if you recognize that.
That's Super Black Eagle 3 of Paul's.
That's Paul's favorite shotgun.
That's correct.
What about deer? Did he have a weapon he liked hunting deer with?
He did. It was 7mm 08.
Okay. Did Paul ever have any pistols to your knowledge or carry around any pistols?
He did sometimes.
Sometimes. What were his favorite 2 guns? Or the most guns he most commonly had around?
Probably that 300 and Super Black Eagle. That's the ones I've seen him use the most.
Tell me about a little bit about the hog hunting. You said y'all would hunt them at night?
That's correct.
All right. And tell me how that works. What would y'all do? Y'all walking around? Y'all riding around? How does that go?
Most time we drove 4-wheeler vehicle. We didn't hardly ever walk, but that scope, the thermal scope would pick up the heat.
Okay. And where on the property would y'all hunt?
All over.
The hogs you hunt all over?
That's correct.
When you and Paul were together hunting with that Blackout, did you usually have the gun and shoot, or did Paul usually have the gun and shoot?
It just depends.
Who had the gun more?
Probably Paul.
One guy's driving, the other guy's looking?
That's correct.
Is that something y'all did frequently?
A good bit. Yes, sir.
If y'all ever killed a hog, what would y'all do with it?
Sometimes we would give it to people that wanted to butcher it. Sometimes we just let nature take its course, just leave it wherever it was shot at. It just depends. Sometimes we skin them out ourselves.
Are hogs a nuisance animal?
They are.
We're talking a little bit about Paul and who he was. How was Paul with his cell phone?
He was on his cell phone a lot.
Let me ask you a little bit about Miss Maggie. You mentioned before that the family had a couple of properties. In the summertime, where did Miss Maggie prefer to stay?
She liked to stay at Edison
And did you know why she preferred Edison?
because of the yellow flies at Moselle.
The yellow flies?
That's correct.
What about Paul and Alec? Where would they stay most of the time?
Well, Paul, if he was back home, he'd stay at Moselle. but a lot of times he was in Columbia or Charleston.
Did he have an apartment in Charleston?
Not to my knowledge in Charleston.
I'm sorry, in Columbia. I meant.
In Columbia, yes.
Okay, thanks. Back in June 7th of 2021, you were working in agriculture?
That's correct.
Working in farming?
That's correct.
Hard work?
Yes, sir.
What time did you have to get up in the morning and go to work?
Normally get up about 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Where were you staying at that point in time?
I was staying at my girlfriend's house in Beaufort.
In Beaufort? You don't have to say her last name. What was her first name?
Mary Ann.
Mary Ann? And why were you staying at Beaufort at that period, at that point in time? Was that where your house was or not?
No, my house was not there. I was working on St. Helena. It made it a closer ride for me to go to work.
So you're staying with your girlfriend because of that?
That's correct.
Did you have a dog at that time?
I did.
And what kind of dog?
Chocolate Lab.
Chocolate Lab. Still have the Chocolate Lab?
I do.
What's the dog's name?
Cash.
Cash. How old was Cash about that time?
I'm guessing he was a puppy, 4 or 6 months old, maybe.
Were you able to keep Cash with you when you were staying at your girlfriend's in Beaufort?
I was not able to.
Why was that?
Because she wasn't allowed. She was renting a house. We couldn't keep one there.
What arrangements did you make for Cash when you were staying in Beaufort and you couldn't keep him at your girlfriend's house?
I would leave him at the kennels at Moselle.
And tell me how that came to be. How'd you work that out?
I asked Mr. Ellick if I could leave him there. I'd be gone at a week at a time. Leave him there for a week, pick him back up when I come back home on the weekends.
Did you leave food for him?
Hold on a minute, y'all.
Where was he staying when he was at Moselle during the week when you were working?
Did you say hold on?
Yeah, I said hold on for a minute.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to my grandbaby. Okay, you want to say anything before I started back?
No, I think they're just establishing the video.
Wait a minute. Man says it actually is Dan Cocaine Cowboys, the kings of Miami drug lords, largest cases. Ooh.
Yeah, there's plenty of gangs, but again, if you're with that gang and you should get arrested for drug dealing, doesn't it basically convict you? We caught you drug dealing, and you're part of a gang that has drug dealer in its name. So why should we not believe you're a drug dealer? So, it's kind of stupid to, put the name in there.
Wow.
And the kennel.
In the kennel. Describe the kennels a little bit for the jury. What was the?
Yeah, I remember this is Paul's friend.
It was like a lean-to shed with about somewhere around 8 kennels under it, feed room on the end.
And Cash was staying in one of those.
That's correct.
You'd go get him on the weekend.
Friday night or either Saturday. Yes.
Where would you take him then?
Back to my house.
And just where were you living?
What is he? Is like a dog parent that take his child up somewhere during the week and pick him up on the weekends? Like what?
Well, yeah, because he couldn't have his girlfriend couldn't have the dog at the house, which I don't know why, but so
why
he would stay there during the week and then come home on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
In Colleton County.
You get up at 5 a.m. and get to work. About what time you get to work, working farming?
I'd roughly get to work somewhere around 7:30.
7:30. And then what time would you get off?
It all depended.
What time typically would you get out?
5, 6, 7 o'clock.
Just depending on how much work needed to get done?
That's correct.
Were you pretty tired when you got home?
I was.
During the course of that day, June 7th, 2021, did you have any communications with Paul?
I did.
What's the first one you remember?
Sometime around lunchtime.
What did y'all communicate? Did y'all talk on phone? Did y'all text or what?
Yeah, I think he called me and told me about the sunflowers had been sprayed in the Dove field and they were dead.
Okay. What did he say about that?
Said that he was getting ready to replant them.
They've been sprayed with some Roundup or something?
That's correct.
Did y'all talk about anything else that you remember?
No, I do not remember.
While I'm thinking about it, I asked you about Paul and his use of a cell phone. Do you know where he kept his cell phone when it wasn't in his hand?
Most of the time in his pockets.
Was he typically one to respond pretty quick to you? If you were talking about something?
Normally, yeah, we were talking about something. He would respond pretty quick.
That evening, did you talk to Paul again after that initial conversation?
I did.
And when was that, roughly?
Around 8:40.
Okay. And what was that conversation about?
He called and asked if something was wrong with the dog's tail.
Okay. And was that the first you were hearing about that?
That's correct.
Tell me about your conversation.
I told him that, I wasn't real sure. I just dropped him off there Sunday and told him let's try to see if he can get me a picture or FaceTime me and let me see what was going on with the dog's tail.
Where was Paul when he called you?
He was at the dog kennels.
And how do you know that?
I could hear the dogs barking in the original call.
Is he describing to you what he's seeing on Cash's tail?
That's correct.
And Cash was at the kennels?
He was.
Did you hear any other voices when you were on the phone with Paul about 8:40?
I did.
And what voices did you hear?
I heard Miss Maggie.
Who else did you hear?
And I thought it was Mr. Elliott that I heard.
You thought it was Mr. Elliott?
Wow.
You talked to Paul, and what did y'all talk about? What was he going to do?
He was going to try to FaceTime me. He said, you know how the service is out here. He said, if I can't get the FaceTime to go through, I'll send you a video.
And why was he going to FaceTime you? What's the difference between FaceTime and a regular call?
So I could see what was wrong with the dog.
And y'all talked about how the service is out here?
That's correct.
And what did you mean by that?
Most of the time you got enough service to make a call. I mean, sometimes calls would break up, but a FaceTime, couldn't really get a whole lot of service to make the FaceTime call. It's kind of lagging.
Y'all have had problems with that before?
That's correct.
Did y'all discuss what to do if the FaceTime didn't work?
We did.
And what was the discussion?
He was going to send me a video of it, of the dog.
He was going to video it and then do what with it? Text it to you?
That's correct.
Is that the last time you ever talked to your friend?
That was.
Wow.
Did y'all try to FaceTime?
We did.
Did it work?
It came through, but it was kind of lagging. I couldn't tell what was going on.
I never heard from him again.
That's correct.
Wow.
Did you ever get that video?
I did not.
After you never got the video, did you try to reach back out to Paul to see if you could get him to respond?
I did. I called him a few times and texted him.
Did he ever respond?
He didn't.
Did you reach out to anyone else trying to get Paul to respond?
I texted Miss Maggie.
Did she respond?
She did.
About what time do you think you went to bed that night?
I'm not exactly sure. It was sometime right after I probably tried to contact him.
And you never heard from Miss Maggie either?
I did.
Did you ever talk to her at all that day?
I did.
About what time do you think you went to bed?
I'm going to say somewhere around 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. You're a pretty sound sleeper?
That's correct.
Been working on the farm all day?
That's correct.
Did some calls come in that you didn't realize because you were asleep?
Yes, I woke up with some missed calls.
What time did you wake up the next morning?
Sometime around 5:30.
When did you find out that your friend Paul and his mother Maggie had been murdered?
That same time, 5:30.
How'd you find out?
I called one of my friends that had left me, or I had a missed call from, and he told me what had happened.
And tell me his first name, please.
Nolan.
What'd you do after that?
We got a little old boy up and got him to school without talking about it a whole lot, and then we headed back home.
And by home, you mean Colleton County?
Colleton County, that's correct.
And where'd you go from there?
I went to my house first, then I ended up going to Moselle. About what time you think you got there? Sometime maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock. What'd you see when you got there? Where'd you go on the property? I went to the dog kennels. And who'd you see there? Did you talk to anyone there? I did, and I seen John Marvin.
Wait a minute. Why was he allowed on Moselle? Why was he allowed to go on the property?
I don't know why they allowed him in there, but they didn't allow him on the crime scene. So they probably cordoned off an area further back, away from the crime scene, where the family could stand.
He said he went to the dog kennel. That was the crime scene.
Yeah, but further back from the dog kennel, so he probably came in through the back. But again, this is a small town. He may know the sheriffs.
That is crazy.
And Alex may have said, "Let him in, let him in."
Alex, thank you, Miss Gloria. Y'all hit the cash app, support the channel, hit the like button, support the channel. I'm not understanding. I'm not. Even if he knew the sheriff, like honestly, like, and that's where that remember the original testimonies where they were talking about footprints and all other kind of footprints that may have been.
I actually have a picture of the footprints that they have photographed. There's like footprints everywhere.
Yeah, I mean they let people. I'm like they letting people on the property.
Let me put it up so you could actually.
He said he went to the dog kennels. He should not have been allowed anywhere near the dog kennels. The truth at all.
No, I would have to. I would have to agree with you. I'd have to agree that
this small town mess that you got going on. So like, oh, it's a small town. This they need to stop.
So put my now this is put my screen up real quick.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. I'll take him down. Let me take him down. Y'all got a video with him anyway. Let me take him down because I feel sorry for dude.
He reminds me that dude reminds me of the guy from
I didn't do it.
but this is okay. So it's like a sand looking dirt.
Yeah.
And those are all footprints right there. But the funny thing is that footprint with no tracks is the shoes that Alex was wearing.
What?
Alex is wearing like a flip-flop looking shoe with no treads on it.
Wow.
The night of the murder. Probably he was probably not wearing that when he committed the murders. But I have I just found the prosecution's video reenactment of the murders.
Oh wow. The prosecution's reenactment of the murders?
Yes, the 3D model reenactment of the murders.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. Okay, 119. Let me see how much more he's going to testify. Let's see. Oh, he's not going to be up here for much longer. Let's see.
No, he's just establishing. He wanted him to say that one thing.
Right.
You hear anyone else on that video? Oh yeah, I think it's Alex on that video. On that video was
okay.
Alex.
So when he's done, y'all, we're gonna. You said, is it a video? You said the video.
I could send you the link to it. It's actually pretty cool. Let me see if I.
I'm gonna see if I can get it. I don't know if I can get it to play on my shit, but how long is it?
Oh, it's not long. It's actually off of TikTok. Here it is, right here.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can like download it and upload it so we can watch it. All right, so you get that to me while we finish listening to him, and I'll try to get that up before we get out. Okay.
Did you talk to anybody at the scene when you first went there? The only person I seen was John Marvin. What'd you do after that? My cousin let the dog out the kennel. That be in cash? That's correct. Did you take cash with you? I did. Where'd y'all go from there? To the convenience store down the road from the house.
Why was he able to take cash? Because cash was a week. Wait a minute, let me stop.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Cash was a witness. Cash, show us who killed Paul.
No, for real, honestly though, like I'm just still not, even though Cash was
they checked all the animals and made sure there was no evidence on any of the animals. And Cash was further down. Cash was in the fifth the fifth kennel. So he was further down. The only one that would have may had anything on him was the dog in the first one, which I think was Bubba. Which was Alex's dog.
I'm just still not understanding why they was able to even enter the property.
Well, he
remove something from the property.
He had property there. Maybe that's why they let him in. He's like, hey, my dog is in there. My dog is in there. I need to get him out. No one's gonna take care of him. I need to get my dog out of there.
Right. Could be. Okay.
And who'd you meet there?
I met a game warden.
And what did you do after that? Did you have a conversation?
I did. I had a conversation with him, and he said that law enforcement was going to be wanting to speak with me. And I told him, I said, well, if you got a contact, let's get them up here and let's talk.
And so did you wait for law enforcement to arrive?
I did.
Do you remember who you talked to?
I did.
And who'd you talk to?
Jeff Croft and Katie McAllister.
And did they do an interview of you?
They did.
Did they ask you about your communications with Paul the night before?
They did.
And did they ask you to see your cell phone?
They did.
Did they take screenshots of your cell phone?
That's correct.
Were you showing them your communications the night before with Paul and Maggie and others the night before?
Yes, sir.
Were you holding up the phone and they were taking screenshots?
Yes, sir.
Now remember, this is 9 a.m. the next morning.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was. But why did he say he went to the gas station? What, they met him at the gas station? Oh, well.
I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification. 165, 166, 167, 168, 169, 170, 171, and 172. And just put those real quick and see if you recognize those images. Just flip them down. You recognize those?
I do.
And what are those?
That's all activity on my phone. Missed calls, texts.
Stand by for 1 second. Your Honor, just out of abundance of caution, I believe these are in evidence, but just to be clear, 165, 166, 167, 168, 169, 170, 171, and 172. We make sure those are in evidence, but those are in evidence will be without objection.
That's correct. Okay.
Good. All right. May I have the Elmo, please? Mr. Gibson, I'm going to put these up on the screen. You got a screen up there, and so take a look at that, okay?
Okay.
All right, 165. Can y'all turn the screen around for me, please? And that's a screenshot that Jeff Croft took of your phone that on June 8th, 2021, the next day?
That's correct.
All right, and that reflects a call from who?
Paul.
And which Paul is that?
Paul Murdoch.
All right, and what time is that call?
8:40 p.m.
And how long does it last?
4 minutes.
All right. Is that the call you just described to this jury?
It is.
The call y'all were talking about Cash the dog and trying to figure out the tail?
It is.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 166. Now, Again, you told this jury that when y'all got off the call, he was gonna try to FaceTime you, and if not, send a video.
That's correct.
All right, and I'll show you 166. Is that another screenshot of it?
It is.
And that's the FaceTime call, is that right?
That's correct.
8:44 p.m.
That's correct.
for 11 seconds.
That's correct.
That FaceTime didn't work though, did it?
Yeah, it came through, but it was lagging. Couldn't communicate through it.
So y'all stopped.
That's correct.
And you were expecting what after that?
A video.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as States 167. Are these texts that were on your phone?
They are.
Who are those texts between? Who are you trying to text right there down those last two bubbles?
I was sending those texts to Paul.
All right. It's got a little glare on it. But what time is that text right there?
8:49 p.m.
And that's on June 7th, 2021?
That's correct.
And what are you telling Paul right there? Can you read that to the jury and then explain what you were trying to say to Paul, please?
See if you can get a good picture of it. Mary Ann wants to send it to a girl we know that's a vet. Tell him to sit and stay, and he shouldn't move around too much.
Who were you talking about when you said tell him to sit and stay?
Cash, the dog.
Did you send another text right here?
I did.
What time is that? Can you read it?
Thank you,
9:58 p.m.
What do you say?
Yo.
And when you say yo to Paul, what are you trying to get him to do?
Just trying to get him to call me back or text me back.
You haven't gotten that video.
That's correct.
I'll show you what's been marked as 168 states. Is that another screenshot of your phone?
That is.
These are missed calls from June 7th, 2021?
That's correct.
Or these are outgoing calls?
They are.
Who are you trying to call?
Paul Murdoch.
Tell me the times you tried to call him. Start from the bottom, please.
9:10 p.m., 9:29 p.m., 9:42 p.m., 9:57 p.m.
Did he ever respond?
No, sir.
I'll show you what's been marked as states 169. Is that another screenshot of your phone?
It is.
Who are you trying to call right there?
Paul.
What's that last call?
10:08 p.m.
Did he answer that call?
He did not.
Show you what's been marked as states 170. Is that another screenshot of your phone?
It is.
And who are you trying to text right here?
Miss Maggie.
What time did you try to text her?
9:34 p.m.
And what did you text her?
Tell Paul to call me.
Tell Paul to call me?
Yes, sir.
Did she ever respond?
She did not.
You said you woke up the next morning on June 8th, 2021, and you saw you had some missed calls. Is that right?
That's correct.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as states 171. Was this also a screenshot or a picture that Special Agent Croft took of your phone?
It is.
All right. And who are those missed calls from?
Mr. Ellick.
And what time did they come in?
10:21 p.m. and 10:24 p.m.
And that would have been on June 7th, 2021?
That's correct.
Were you asleep at that time?
I was.
Unaware they were coming in?
That's correct.
172. Is that another screenshot of your phone?
It is.
And those other missed calls that came in?
10:25 p.m. and 10:30 p.m.
When you spoke to Special Agent Croft on June 8th, 2021, did you tell him and Special Agent McAllister who you thought you heard on that phone call at 8:40?
I did.
And who did you say you heard?
I thought it was Mr. Ellick, but I wasn't exactly sure.
Did you give him a percentage?
I did.
What'd you say?
99%.
That you heard Mr. Alec on that phone call at 8:40?
That's correct.
That's definitely that's him.
I mean, if you said 99%, you might well not say you're not sure.
Yeah. There's a 1% chance that it wasn't Mr. Alex. But because when he said earlier, he asked them, he said, did you hear somebody else? I thought it was Mr. Alex. And I was like,
right.
you left some room there. You left some wiggle room there.
Right,
and now
right,
he's
right,
like,
right.
so you said you heard Alex on the phone call. What percentage? Oh, a 99% chance that was that motherfucker.
99%.
99. It definitely was. I believe it was 99% sure that motherfucker was on the phone right there. I'm quite sure. Because he sound like he's like, yeah, I know that motherfucker killed Paul. That's the only thing he hasn't said is, do you believe Alex? Do you believe Alex killed Paul? Fuck yeah, Alex killed Paul. I know he killed him. That's the only thing he hasn't said. I mean, he's like, because that right there just blew my mind. So, what percentage would you say you believe that that's Alex on the phone? Well, sir, I'd have to say 99, not quite 100,
but 99,
but 99. And if I could even break 99.99,
that's enough. That's enough for paternity.
yeah.
That's enough for paternity.
Why would he? Yeah, why would he even say? Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was Mr. Alex. And then you say, well, I'm 99% sure. He should have just said, yeah, it was Mr. Alex on the video.
I agree.
Yeah. why
I agree. That's crazy. It's weird.
Alex is probably saying, motherfucker, this piece of shit, I done raised this little motherfucker. Fed in my house.
Not raised.
Yeah, ate in my house. I bought this motherfucker clothes. He can come over here and shoot whatever he wants. And they fucked me.
Yeah, he got that look on his face. I promise you that. All right, here we go, y'all.
As time went on after the murders, did you go to Moselle where all the family and friends were gathering?
I did.
Were you there a fair amount?
Probably the whole part of that later that week.
While you were there at the house where the family and friends had gathered, did anyone ever ask you about your last contact with Paul?
There was.
And who asked you?
Grandma.
And that'd be Miss Brandstatter?
That's correct.
Maggie's mother?
That's correct.
And what did you say?
I told her, yeah, that I talked to Paul about the dog. I told her that I heard Miss Maggie in the background, and I heard a male voice that I thought was Mr. Elliott.
Was he in the room then?
All right, Sam.
Did he stand up and say, no, I wasn't there?
He didn't.
Did you ever have any conversation with Alec Murdoch about what happened that night?
No, sir.
Did he ever ask you about whether or not you heard him on that phone that night?
No, sir.
Did he ever tell you what he did that night?
No, sir.
Did you ever ask him what he did that night?
No, sir.
Not a subject you wanted to talk about, was it?
That's correct.
Over time, as the months passed following the murder of Paul and Maggie, did you were ultimately interviewed by law enforcement and other part of the process and that sort of thing, is that correct?
That's correct.
And as time went on and you were asked about who you heard on the phone that night, that call at 8:40, you said, hey, I thought it was Alec, but I can't be sure.
That's correct.
Told law enforcement the night of, 99% sure, correct?
Say that question again, please.
Told law enforcement the next day, June 8th, that you were 99% sure, is that correct?
That's correct.
As time went on, you said, I thought it was Alec, but I can't be sure.
That's correct.
In November of 2022, did law enforcement ask you to come in and look at a video?
They did.
And did you watch that video?
I did.
What was on that video?
There was the video. Paul was supposed to take a cash. Cash was on the video.
And did you recognize the voices on there?
I did.
Did you recognize the voices of your second family?
I did.
Wow.
What voices did you hear?
Paul's, Miss Maggie, Miss Taylor.
And how sure are you now?
Positive.
100%?
That's correct.
Ooh, it wiped out that 1%. Woo!
It sure did. It
Man, I
sure
wonder what he
did.
put up there. Are you sure now? Damn right,
Second
100%.
computer boot up.
He did it. See, I didn't hear any objections.
No, they just sitting there looking.
Yeah, I didn't hear any object. Alex probably got his mouth open. Fuck.
Well, actually, no. Okay, I'm paused right here at the screen. He's got his glasses on his nose, and he's just sitting there looking at
at the boy like, what did you just say? What did you just say? But I didn't hear an objection of speculation. I didn't hear an objection of how could he tell? How does he know?
It was none. It was
none.
none.
No objections. He's just sitting there going, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Damn.
Pretty much.
He just put Alex at the scene.
Yeah.
And then old boy is like, your second family. You would not you would not mistake your second dad, would you? He was like a dad to you. He changed your diapers.
He had to be close to the family. I must say he had Miss Maggie number. He had Paul number, but he never called Mr. Murdoch. Maybe he didn't have his number, but yeah,
because he didn't assume that Alex would be there. He called Maggie because he knew that Maggie and Paul were together.
Well, I mean, he said he heard Maggie's voice. I mean, Mr. Murdoch's voice
on the video that was never sent.
No. This dude said he heard Mr. Murdoch when he was talking to Paul on the phone. Remember, that's why they asked him, was he sure?
No, on the video that Paul never sent, they played it for him.
Oh, okay. Damn.
They played it for him. When Paul called him, he didn't hear anybody in the background. He's talking about the video that Paul never sent.
Okay.
Played the police played it for him and said, "Is this what you were asking Paul to send you?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, that's my dog. That's the video of my dog's tail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they say they heard three voices too. But they needed someone to testify who that voice was.
Okay. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So when Paul called him, he didn't hear it. It was just him and Paul, and it was like a 3-minute conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But when in the dog video, you hear Maggie in the background, and then Alex says something to a dog. Hey, come here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when that's the first, because he had never, until they showed him that video, he didn't hear anything.
Okay, I'm gonna go on mute. You talk for a minute. I'm gonna upload this video right quick. You go ahead and talk for me. Okay. You can even talk about those screenshots. Those are the text messages.
Yes, this is the text.
All right, give me a second.
So these are the text messages, and the last text message that Paul received on his phone from his friend was at 8:49. So this text message is the basis of everything. So this last text message at 8:49 is supposedly the last message that Paul received from him, and he doesn't message him again until almost 10 o'clock the second time. So
help me.
What's a baby Betty's
I'm being attacked. She trying to take my chips. She said I'm supposed to share everything with her, even though she got her own stuff. And she just threatened to smack me if I don't share. It's not funny.
Does she share with you?
It's not. No, she don't share with me. It's baby stingy.
Sharing, caring.
You don't share?
Well, I can share my chip with you.
I don't want your chips. That's why I picked my chips.
No, we want you to pick mine.
So why did you get your own chips like mine?
But I love my chips look like that. I want to have the boring chips.
You picked them boring chips.
Well, your chips are much.
Whatever
you have is always going to be better.
I'm not sharing with you.
I'll punch you then. Now it's not with you.
Why you gonna punch? How you gonna punch me? Because I don't want to give you my chips.
Sharing, tell her sharing is caring.
She already said that.
Yeah.
You gonna cry if I don't share?
Yeah.
Get a baby a chip. Stop being stingy.
I already gave her some of my chips. She's trying to eat all of them, and she know they're my all-time favorite. Just you got more than one chip.
Yeah, Tammy, Tamara's right. Didn't you buy them chips for her? Why are you eating her chips?
I want my flaming hot cheddar sour cream.
You know I love them too.
Why didn't you get some then?
Huh?
When we went to the store, why didn't you pick any?
That's why you did not like it once your name.
I can't I can't have nothing. Bye.
Yes.
Why don't you licking her tongue out of me? That's her way of saying thank you.
No, that's her way of saying I told you so.
This is ridiculous.
I told you you were gonna give me these chips.
What was I thinking?
Were you about to say something about the case, or were you just scared? Scared?
I'm just like, Dick needs to be like this incompetent counseling. He needs to. Did they ask for a mistrial at all?
They haven't come up with the appeal. They haven't put the appeal in yet.
No, I'm talking about during this trial. Did the defense say mistrial, motion to dismiss, or anything? Did they claim? Did they try?
No, I didn't hear any mistrial or motion to dismiss or anything like that. But they didn't object to any of this. And that man. He's speculating that that's Alex. And
I think Dick may have dementia or something. He don't remember how to just maneuver in the courts.
I would have said, Your Honor, he's asking the witness to speculate. There's no guarantee that was Alex on that phone. There's no guarantee. It's a distant voice. Something. I would have protested or something. Just something. Nothing happened.
Especially when he said, "I'm not sure."
Yeah,
because he came up with the 99% later.
Yeah, because when he first said, I thought it was Mr. Alex. That was his answer. I thought it was Mr. Alex. But I guess did he play it for him or something in there? Did he show him something or play him something? I didn't hear it being played. But his next question was, so after you saw the video, what percentage or what did you, when you heard it, what did you feel? He goes, 99% sure that was Mr. Alex. And then he said, well, after you watched the video again, well, I'm 100% sure that was Mr. Alex. So, I mean, he went from 99 to 100.
Let's finish listening to him, and then I'm going to play the video before we get out.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Take the time. I had pushed it back to 111.
Huh?
I said I pushed my thing back to 111. Take your time.
Really?
Okay. Okay.
111? Really?
Yeah,
111?
well, I had it at 12 at first because I was being like the police. But then we still live, so I just went on and did it to 111.
You got
And
it. I didn't even know you had a live schedule.
Yeah.
Well, not a live. It's part 3 of the DMs. And I messed around and uploaded them on the backup channel for a second. I was like, why this thing got all them views? And listen, I was like, oh, delete.
Just admit it. You're being petty because that's what Truth Hurts does.
I just said that.
Yeah, no, you said.
I said 12 because I was being the police. That's what time it was initially.
Yeah, and,
you know they say fuck 12.
You'd be like, it'll say 9 o'clock, then it'll say 9:08. Then you go back, it'll say 9:12, 9:16, 9:30, 9:35, and then at that point she's like, fuck it, I'll just come live when I come live. You know, you just give up looking at numbers. You're just like, all right, whenever you put the notification on.
Whenever I get the YouTube icon.
I'll just hit it.
Oh God.
That's him, Troop. I ain't had nothing to do with it.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm mute. Okay. All right. Here we go, y'all.
So stable, Mama.
They doing a recess. For what I don't know.
Did they clear the courtroom?
No. And he ain't even standing up. Everybody, listen, this is this man. Everybody in the courtroom is standing up because I think the jury may be leaving now. I don't know. But everybody in the courtroom is standing but him. But Alec. He just sitting there like he need to be placed in a wheelchair or some shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this man.
He in shock at what's on the screen.
I wish he would just take them glasses off because they're hanging off his nose. I don't even see how he sees out of the glass. But that's just me being petty.
That's him looking down.
Well, he's just looking over him. He's looking over him. He's the bifocals.
Yeah, he's looking down at the witness. Like you betrayed me, you bitch.
Wait a minute. Oh my God. Okay.
Before we play the video, I want to ask a couple more questions. When you received that phone call from Paul at the kennels at 8:40 p.m. on the night of June 7th, 2021, did Paul sound normal to you?
He did.
Did he sound stressed to you?
He did not.
Did he sound like someone was there that he didn't know?
No, sir.
Did he sound worried?
He did.
Did you hear Maggie's voice?
I did.
Did she sound stressed?
She did.
Did she sound worried?
No.
Did she sound normal?
She did.
Did she sound like there was somebody there she didn't know?
No, sir.
Or that she was in danger?
No, sir.
Did you hear Alex's voice?
What I thought was his voice at the time, yeah.
When Maggie or Paul would go down to the kennels, how would they usually get there?
They would drive.
How come there wasn't an objection right there?
I'm
'Cause
telling you, the defense is that
he was very
I'm not gonna keep
definitive on
explaining it to you,
everything.
right?
Yeah, because he's
I'm
asking.
just gotta point out he was very definitive about him, Maggie not being stressed and Paul not being stressed. Did you hear Alex's voice? What I thought to be Alex's. What damn it objection?
So he did ask him about the phone call. So he's saying maybe on the phone call he heard Alex's voice too.
That's what I thought. That's what I was trying to tell you. I thought they said that.
But he can't be sure he heard Alex's voice, but he can be sure he heard Maggie's voice. If you know all three of their voices, how can you be definitive about two of the three people?
Okay, but my thing, the objection should have been how can he speculate whether they were stressed or not? How does he
that's
speculate?
true.
All of that a stress test over the phone. All of that should have been objected to.
I agree.
Did she sound happy? I don't know. Did she sound sad? I don't know. Did it sound like they just had an argument? Stuff he couldn't possibly know over the phone unless they were being told about it.
He should have objected right there. Like, Your Honor, how's he supposed to tell the mental state of the other person on the phone? Instead of saying, did Paul sound happy? Did Maggie sound happy?
Yeah.
And my objection would have been, so again, how does your personality change if someone's there you don't want to be there? Is there like a scale? Did you hear anything in his voice that would make you think that there's someone there holding a gun on him?
Or there's someone else that he didn't know or whatever. Like, it's a big property. How would they know if somebody was on the property?
But how do you sound if somebody's there you don't know? Like, your
dad brought company over. You might not know everybody he brought over. That happens.
When he say, so who the fuck are you and why are you on my property? Did you hear that at any time? No, I never heard.
Well, you know why he asked that question, right? He asked that question because Alec Murdoch said that when he was leaving, which
he saw somebody.
He saw somebody entering the property that he didn't know who it was, but yet he still left his wife and his son there.
Were they black guys?
Somebody he didn't know was entering the property. So, I mean, that's probably why he asked that question. That's what I'm assuming. Don't know for facts. None of this shit makes sense. And it's weird. Okay?
Alex is probably turned. Are you going to fucking say something? Are you going to do anything?
Yeah!
I'm paying you a lot of fucking money, you dumbass. What are you doing? You're going to say anything? Alex,
I'm just saying. Alex and Buster were shooting him with their eyes while he was on the stand. Yeah, they were. They were, Tamara.
They couldn't believe this little
motherfucker. He been in our house. He done ate our food.
Yeah, I took his ass on vacation with us. The motherfucker can use the boat whenever he wants, and this bitch just spilling his guts up there. Waiting for Alex to jump up. I object. You can't object. My lawyer ain't doing it. Somebody got to do it.
Somebody, and that's how he looking for real, like he want to say something, but he cannot. He cannot. All right, yeah.
If they had an ATV or a golf cart in the yard, sometimes they would drive that.
Paul more likely to be one to ride or one to drive down there.
Most of the time, he would drive.
Was it usual for the family to go down there sometimes and let the dogs out?
It was.
Let them run around?
That's correct.
Did Miss Maggie like to do that?
She did.
Was it common, to your knowledge, for guns to be left down at the kennels?
Sometimes there was, yeah.
I'm gonna play that video for you, okay? Okay.
So they're gonna play the video, y'all.
Get that. Quick, Cash.
Hey, he got buses now.
Hey, brother.
Fuck yeah, that was Alex.
So what?
Hell yeah, that was Alex.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, Kit Kat. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button in there in the chat, please, and feel free to hit the Cash App and support the channel. Listen, this the video, y'all, of the day of the murder, y'all. You know what? And his voice is really distinctive, and the reason why I say it is because it's kind of high pitched a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he has like a breathing voice, like that. You know, like that. You can't mistake that voice. And
yeah,
I'm telling
right.
you, he didn't know Paul was videotaping. I'll guarantee he didn't know Paul was videotaping.
I don't think he did.
Who was he cussing out? An objection that could be artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
Kit Kat is myself, The Truth, and Mono Trey. Shout out to Scorpio. Thank you, Scorpio, for supporting the channel and the live. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, it's kind of high pitched to me. That's just me.
If you ever heard his voice, that it's very distinctive voice.
Yeah,
like his balls go up into his nutsack.
Oh God,
higher when he speaks. You know, he gets that high pitch. He has that high pitched sound. Not all the time, but he always hits that high pitched sound. And, shit, I heard it when he first said something.
That's facts.
That the video you watched back in November 2022?
It is.
Where is that video taken?
Hey, Rosie.
You recognize your dog?
I do.
You recognize Paul's voice?
Yes, sir.
You recognize Maggie's voice?
Wait a minute. Wait, you recognize your dog? Okay. That's the video.
In the video,
okay.
He's saying, "Do you recognize is that your dog? You recognize your dog?"
Oh,
yes,
okay. I was thinking about the voice.
That's my but he's looking at a video. He's not just hearing the
yeah,
audio.
he is. I forgot. We're not seeing the video.
At the video. Now, Alex did not come into the video frame, but him and Maggie,
you can hear his voice.
Yeah, him and Maggie are further back. And to me, it sounded like Maggie was on the left and Alex was on the right.
How in the hell would you know that?
I have my Bose headsets on. But,
oh God!
Again, but you could tell which angle the voice is coming from.
Ricky.
Yeah.
Can you get your boy a pair of them $300 headphones? I be looking at them. I ain't finna spend that much money on no damn headphones though. I need some. Hook your boy up, Ricky.
They really
you got it.
Nice. They are nice.
I know. Give me some. You got the money. You work for Steve Harvey and shit. Fuck with your boy.
When you get on a plane, you could be sitting right next to a crying baby. You don't hear shit. You don't hear that. That baby could be sitting right next to you, just peeing on your arm. You wouldn't even know it was there.
I'm not gonna play with you or Trey today. Okay, I'm not in the mood. All right. Hey, serious, Mr. Lou. I'm sorry, y'all. I probably never been speaking. My mind all over the place today. But anyway, thank y'all for joining. I appreciate it. Tamara, Candy, y'all stop laughing and come get these two. Quit laughing and come get these two, cause I can't do nothing with them.
And they're $3.99, sir. $3.99.
Oh shit!
$2.99. Well, I seen them on Amazon. So you gotta go on Amazon. And they got a deal with the Bose store. The price is a little cheaper.
Oh, okay. Well, there's levels to it too, because there's a couple of noise reductions. There's a noise reduction DX, which is like the higher frame one.
Well, I like JBL products because they come equipped with a bass boost already, which is good for studio sound.
These also do. These are Bluetooth enabled, and you can actually turn treble and bass and everything up and down.
I got some Sony, some JBLs. And when you send me the Bose, I have some Bose too.
Like a baby toy.
Thanks, Ricky. Your generosity knows no bounds.
Nothing but Trey and D2 acting the ass. That's all. Ain't nothing really happened. That's it. That's all.
I object.
Whatever. Oh God.
Recognize Alex's voice.
Yes, sir.
100%.
Yes, sir.
Can you point out Alec Murdoch, the person whose voice you recognize in this video in this courtroom, please?
Sitting right there. Great. Yeah.
Please let the record reflect he's identified.
Alec gonna get your ass. He looking like I'm gonna get you, motherfucker.
He over yonder. He over yonder, right over yonder there. He over yonder.
Oh yeah.
I don't go shopping, Candy, so you might as well just cut that out.
Good afternoon, Rogan.
How you doing?
All right, he's being cross-examined now, y'all.
Oh, here we go.
We've back many times, haven't we?
Oh, this ain't Dick. This the balding guy. I need to figure out his name though. This not Dick. This the balding one that comes up when Dick say, "Fuck it, I ain't finna be bothered with that." This the guy that got a half a head of hair. I'm just saying.
Tell the jury more about Paul, please. What did y'all like to do together?
We loved hunting, fishing, just hanging around. We loved staying at the beach, going to the sandbars. He could get along with just about anybody.
See, one of your best friends?
He is.
Is this a hard day for you?
Yes, sir.
Did you live one summer in the cabin there on the property?
Yes, me, Buster, and Nolan lived in the cabin, and Paul was there a lot.
Right. And when you got a house of your own, it was just right down the road, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Down Moselle Road?
Yes, sir.
It was your grandparents' house or you moved into?
That's correct.
And but before that, Ms. Maggie and Big Red over here, Mr. Alec, they treated you as family, didn't they?
Oh, wow.
They did.
And
did he just call him Big Red?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know Big Red. You know the man you gave a nickname to, Big Red. You know that man. Big Red.
Name was Big Red. And see, he's trying to play on this dude. You know, he's trying to play on the fact that this is what I think. He's trying to play on the fact that this dude was basically like a part of their family.
Yeah.
And he's making him think about the fact that you was like a part of the family, you know, Big Red, you know, and things like that.
You gave Big Red the big red one right up his ass is what you did, buddy.
And he's trying to play, I think he's trying to play on his, you know, so-called loyalty to the family. I mean, I get it. But yeah, but you still kill my best friend like you killed your son. So it is what it is. Okay.
And Ms. Maggie was like a second mom to you?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Alec was like a second dad?
Yes, sir, he was.
And could you tell the jury what you observed Alec's relationship was starting with you? What was his relationship with you?
We had a good relationship. I mean, he treated me like one of his own. We had fun. He gave me permission to hunt the property.
You have permission to come and go and down to the shop?
I did.
Did you have permission to use any of the equipment?
Yes, sir.
And did you help out on the farm for game management and stuff?
I did.
Okay. And can you tell the jury a little bit about Mr. Alex's relationship with his son, Paul?
Very good relationship. Very good.
Were they close?
They were. Nothing happened without Paul telling Mr. Alec about it.
And did, jury's heard some, Alec interviewed on the tape, various about how the Moselle property was Paul's passion.
It was.
You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think it was his passion? What was he so passionate about out there?
He just loved hunting and with using the equipment to manage for wild game, fishing.
Right.
Loved all of that.
Paul a good friend?
Yes, sir.
Was he a loyal friend?
He was.
Was he a loyal son?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about Miss Maggie.
She was like a second mother to me. Always took care of me. Treated me like one of hers.
He is, Tamara. I think he is.
Did you spend time with down at Edisto?
I did.
And you and Paul and Miss Maggie, sometimes just the three of you down there?
It was.
Okay. What did Miss Maggie like to do?
She liked the beach.
When they were down at Edisto, were you the only friend welcome at the Edisto house, or what was it like?
There was many friends that were welcome to the house.
Like adult friends, or was Miss Maggie, Mr. Alex home? Was it open to all of Paul and Buster's friends?
It was open to all of Paul and Buster's friends.
And was that the case at Edisto?
That's correct.
Was that the case at Moselle?
It was.
Did it appear to you that Mr. Alec enjoyed being around his family?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you enjoy being around Mr. Alec and Miss Maggie?
Yes, sir.
You remember, and I apologize, I'm gonna get the date wrong, but do you remember in early 2019 that Paul was in a boating accident?
Yes, sir.
And a beautiful young woman died in that accident, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Her name was Mallory Beach.
That's correct.
And Paul was eventually charged. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did
Hey, James.
Paul receive any threats or harassments that you knew about as a result of that boating accident?
None that I thought was real serious. I mean, he mentioned it that, he'd get people comment about it, but nothing that I thought was real serious.
Did he would people just mouth off to him when he went out bars or just with his friends?
Yes, sir. He had mentioned that.
But was it anything that you thought was serious in nature?
No, and a lot of times I wasn't there when that happened, so I didn't think it was that serious.
Let me back up. I skipped over something. You played sports when you were a kid growing up?
Yes, sir.
I think your dad was a coach, was he?
Yes, sir.
And was Mr. Alec a coach to Paul and Buster?
He was.
And did Mr. Alec, when he wasn't coaching, would he and Ms. Maggie come to all the sporting events for the kids?
They were always there.
Can you think of them ever missing a sporting event for Buster or Paul?
Not that I can remember.
And they come to your sporting events?
Yes.
Now, Paul had an apartment in 2021, he was starting to go back to school at Carolina. You remember that? He was in college.
Yes, sir.
School year.
That's correct.
And then in June, he had moved back he'd moved back home. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Was he living at Moselle for the most part?
I think he was staying in Moselle some, but kind of all over the place.
And sometimes he stayed with his Uncle John Marvin down in Bluffton?
Yes, sir.
And he was working with his Uncle John Marvin, huh?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, when he was on the farm, when he was at Moselle, now this gets a little confusing for me. Frankly, let me just ask you. Can you tell the jury about all the farm trucks there at Moselle?
Yeah, there was a lot of different vehicles that could be used anywhere from ATVs to tractors.
Well, let's just talk about the trucks. So what was Paul's primary truck?
Around the farm, most of the time, F-250.
All right, but what was his primary mode of transportation? Was it a truck?
It was F-150.
And was it white?
It was.
Okay, and did he drive that around the farm some?
Sometimes, yes.
And then there was a big F-250.
That's correct.
And that was also white, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Did that have a name, the big F-250 farm truck?
Yeah, White Boy. That was the older F-250.
And then there was another one called Dolly?
That's correct. That was a newer F-250.
That was a newer F-250. And then
pretty racist, isn't it?
Was there a black truck? And that was F-150?
It was.
And was that Buster's old truck?
It was.
So there were so Buster had another vehicle, and his old F-150 stayed at Moselle, right?
That's correct.
And then Paul had his white 150 pickup, and where he was not at Moselle, there were still 3 other trucks at Moselle, right?
That's correct.
Dolly, White Boy, and then Buster's old black pickup.
That's correct.
And when Paul was there, he would drive any one of those.
What name did
trucks.
they give the black pickup? I'd love to know.
And no matter which one he was driving, he would most often have some sort of firearm in the truck, right?
That's correct. Most of the time on the farm, he had a firearm in the vehicle.
And those trucks, they would either stay down at the shed, the workshop, or at the house. I mean, there was no set place for them, correct?
That's correct.
And they didn't lock the trucks up, did they?
Not normally.
And then Paul would leave guns in the trucks, wouldn't he?
That's correct.
And Paul would leave guns everywhere. Just about, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he could leave. He left a lot of stuff different places.
Yeah. Did they ever leave any guns at your house?
I'm sure he has over the years.
Okay. And then he would leave guns in the workshop, right?
I have seen guns in the workshop, yes.
And then did they keep the workshop locked?
It just depends. Not a whole lot, but I have remembered it being locked, yes.
Was it more often not locked than locked?
Probably more recent. Yeah, it wasn't locked.
Did they, if someone were bent on mischief, would it be a hard thing to go up on that property and steal stuff?
Probably not around the sheds. It wouldn't be too hard.
And if someone were bent on mischief, would it be a hard thing to go open up and rifle through or look through White Boy or Dolly or Buster's old black pickup truck?
That is possible, yes.
And there were no security cameras down at the old airplane hangar, the workshop, the kennels, and the pole barn and skinny shed, were there?
Not that I was ever aware of.
Yeah. And there were no, in the cabin where you guys stayed that summer, there was no security cameras there either, right?
Not that I knew of.
And was that cabin, did it stay locked?
Sometimes it was locked, sometimes it wasn't.
Paul left guns there too, didn't he?
I have seen guns in that cabin before, yes.
I want to not turn this thing upside down, but you talked about handsome. Who's handsome?
Mr. Randolph Murdoch.
And Ms. Libby is who? Is Ms. Libby?
M.
And that's Paul and Buster's grandparents, right?
That's correct.
And you know where they live?
In Alameda.
Alameda. And just generally, where's Alameda?
It's on the outside of Barnville.
Okay, is it like a crossroads?
And it's a veer off, go toward Ridgeland. If you veer off, if you stay on that road, you go to Embassy.
Right. If you're coming out of Hampton toward Varnville, then where the veer off is, that's called Alameda?
That's correct.
Now, to get to Alameda, and the most direct route, let me do this right, okay. So, can you see from back there?
I can.
And so this is the main house right here, correct?
That's correct.
And you can get down to Moselle Road by going one or two ways, right? You can either take a left and go down by the shop and the kennels, or you can go straight out the main driveway, is that right?
Yes, you can go out both ways.
But when you hit Moselle Road, would you turn right or left if you're going the most direct route to Alameda?
Turn right.
And be going down this way?
That's correct.
You asked a little bit about Paul's cell phone usage. He was on it a lot.
He was on it a lot, yes, sir.
Yeah, and did the battery get down low pretty regularly?
Yes, he would let his phone die sometime, or he would lose it.
Well, and when it would get down low, did he have a habit of not using it to try to keep him going all the way out?
Yes, I have seen that happen before.
And have you done that yourself?
Yes, sir.
And phone coverage, cell phone coverage on that property is somewhat, when I say that property, I'm talking about Moselle, somewhat spotty, isn't it?
It is.
And is there better coverage up at the house than down at the kennels?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
It's kind of hit and miss.
And you can be down at the kennels, and you can be, walk 10 yards one way, you'd have some coverage, 10 yards the other way, you wouldn't have coverage, is that right?
That's correct.
Now, back up here, we don't have any measurements on what this distance is from the kennels to the house, but if you're just driving in a buggy or a car or what have you.
I do. It's on the screen.
Roughly how long does it take from, in a vehicle, to go from the kennels to the house?
It all depends how fast you're driving, but it don't take long to get from the sheds to the house.
I mean, do it under 2 minutes?
Definitely under 2 minutes.
Going fast enough, you do it in a minute or less, I suspect. Is that right?
Yes, if you're going fast enough, you would be able to make it from the sheds to the house in under a minute.
Okay. You were asked about turkey season. When it started and when it ended, you remember And you can tell me, I don't know, when's turkey season start?
Yes, most time mid-March to early May.
How about duck season? When's that start?
The first season starts around Thanksgiving. I think the weekend before Thanksgiving.
And when's the second season start?
Sometime in December.
And when's it end?
End of January.
Do you go duck hunting with Paul?
Yes, sir, I have.
And they had a duck pond on the property?
That's correct.
And did they keep it full all year, or did they drain it and plant it for the season?
Yeah, they would drain it after duck season and be ready to plant in the springtime.
And you helped with that?
I did.
And would Mr. Alec be involved, help doing that? But
he would.
And that was part of Paul's passion, doing things like that?
That's correct.
Now, waterfowl shells load are different than turkey load, right?
That's correct.
What's the difference?
Steel shot.
And steel shot for what?
For ducks, waterfowl.
And why? Is it just preferred or is it required?
It's required.
Because you don't want lead in the water?
That's correct.
Okay. But for hunting purposes, if you just had your choice, would you rather hunt with lead or steel?
Can somebody tell me what the hell duck season got to do with it? Like, I mean, listen. Okay, I gotta get through this.
Because it has greater knockdown power?
It does.
Okay. Is that why you would rather, or just price too, I suspect?
What's that again?
Why would you prefer lead over steel?
It has better knockdown.
Duck is very, very good, Tamara. It's very good. When it's cooked right.
Now, you were asked questions about 300 blackouts, and at one time, Paul had his own, and Buster had his own. They had 200-300 blackouts. You remember that?
I did.
And then you heard that
I can't share a chat.
Paul had one stolen out of his truck at a party.
That's correct.
And do you remember roughly when that was?
I'm not exactly sure.
Years ago?
Yeah, it's been a good many years ago.
And when in recent memory, have you ever seen Paul with a 300 blackout other than the black one with the thermal scope?
Not to my knowledge.
So whenever you were with Paul and he had a 300 blackout, it was the black one with the thermal scope.
That's correct.
Did you ever see a 300 blackout around the house that was black without a thermal scope?
Not to my knowledge, I have.
And the jury's heard of what's a thermal scope?
Picks up the heat from the animal. You can see it at nighttime because of the heat.
It's for night hunting?
That's correct.
And that's the best time to hunt hogs?
It is.
But during the daytime, they stay in the swamp?
That's correct.
At night, they come out?
Yes, sir.
And y'all had cameras out there to see when they were coming out?
Sometimes we did.
Okay. Now you listened to this videotape and heard that was your dog Cash?
It was.
Chocolate Lab?
Yes, sir.
And you heard Miss Maggie?
Yes, sir.
And you heard Paul, obviously.
That's correct.
And Miss Maggie was saying he got a guinea. And then you heard a voice say, no, it's a chicken. You remember whose voice that was?
That was Mr. Alex that said it the first time, and then Paul also said it was a chicken.
Okay. And then someone says, Bubba, let go of that chicken or something like that?
Yeah, just holler for Bubba.
And whose voice did you recognize hollering for Bubba?
Mr. Elliott.
And who's Bubba?
Their dog.
Did they have, and was Bubba a yellow lab?
He was.
Did Bubba have his own kennel?
He did.
Which one was it?
Most of the time he was in the first one right beside the feed room.
And he was.
Now, you had talked to Paul, I think the records show you had a 4-minute telephone conversation before that video was taken, which you didn't receive until law enforcement showed you. But you remember you talked to Paul for about 4 minutes, right?
That's correct.
And I believe when you were interviewed, you said it sounded like Mr. Alec had pulled up or something to that effect, driven up. Do you remember that?
No, I don't ever remember hearing a vehicle.
Okay.
I just remember hearing a third voice.
Okay. And the next day, excuse me, was it the 8th? The next day you went over and met with and went into the house at Moselle and you saw Maggie's parents?
That's correct.
And that's when Grandma, Miss Brandstetter, asked you if you heard Maggie's voice?
Yes.
Okay. And you told her you did?
Told her I talked to Paul and heard Miss Maggie.
And you told them in front of everybody that you had thought you'd heard Alec's voice too, right?
That's correct.
And he didn't push back whatsoever?
No, sir.
What was Alec's demeanor when you first saw him after the murders and days after? What?
He was just real distraught, sad. Just tore up about it.
Did he cry a lot?
Yes, sir.
Did he hug you?
He did.
Did he cry?
Yes, sir.
Did you cry?
Yes, sir.
I mean, did you cry the day after and the day after? I mean,
that was really sad.
I'm sorry. On this video, you've been around Alec, Maggie, and Paul most all your life.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any, did you notice any signs of distress or anxiety or anything out of the ordinary?
I did not.
Oh, God.
And you've been around Maggie and Alec and their whole family a lot?
Almost all of my
This
life.
is the defense, y'all, again.
And, would you see Alec openly show his display of affection and love to Maggie?
Yes, sir.
And from your observation, they have a close, good relationship?
That's correct.
And they were loving to each other and to Paul and Buster and their friends, correct?
That's correct.
And can you think of any circumstance that you can envision, knowing them as you do, where Alec would brutally murder Paul and Maggie?
Why ask him that?
Not that I can think of.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's all the questions I have.
Thanks further.
Wow.
Cross-examination. Do you think Alex murdered?
About
So the regular ass prosecution comes back. Go. They really they need to let this boy get down. Like, honestly.
the sheds being unlocked. All I ever complained to you, people were up there stealing all kinds of stuff all the time.
I was never aware of people stealing anything.
When you talked to Paul and heard Maggie and Alec at 8:40, was there any problem with that voice call, or did it come through just fine? The reception was good.
The call came through, yes.
And the last conversation you had with Paul was he was gonna do what if the FaceTime didn't work?
Send me a video.
And he never did.
That's correct.
You've heard that video and you hear 3 voices, is that correct?
Oh my God.
Maggie, Paul, and Mr. Alec?
In the video, yes, sir.
When you're standing, you're at the house or inside the house on the second floor or something like that, can you see the roofs of the sheds and down there?
The last time I had been out there, yes, you would be able to see the top of the structure.
And if you're standing out here in front of them sheds, could you see the top of the house the other way?
Same thing, yeah. Last time I was there, you would be able to see the top of the structure. There was trees growing between the houses.
And that was a long time ago, right?
That's correct.
Now you would be able to see the house
Down there at
from
the sheds.
the hangar. Well, you'd be able to see the house from the hangar. The kennels are actually behind the hangar. Yeah, let me see. I got a better picture of that.
Okay.
But you
have like outdoor lighting down there?
Go ahead.
But you wouldn't be able to see it from the kennels, because the kennels are over here by these trees to the side. And then there's the back road behind it that they say that they come in from Moselle, the road. And then there, that's the shed, and then the kennels are on the side, and then there's something in front of the kennels. So you'd have to be standing at the shed to look across to see the house. I don't think you'd see it from the kennel.
Wow.
Yes, sir, they did.
And if all that was on, could you see all that lighting from the house?
Yes, you would be able to see that there were lights on from the house.
If those lights were on, it'd be pretty well lit up, is that right?
If all of them were, yes.
You're asked about the boat wreck. Were you aware that Paul had been charged in that boat wreck?
I was.
Were you aware that Alec Murdoch had been sued in that boat wreck?
I was.
What was your perception of Alec's wealth? Did you believe he was a fairly wealthy man?
Yes, sir.
How long have you known Alec Murdoch?
Pretty much all my life.
As you sit here today, did you really know him?
Oh wow.
Did Dick say
Yes, I
something?
knew Mr. Alec.
Yeah, they objected, but it was overruled though, so he gets to answer it. Yeah.
Really know him.
Yes, I know Mr. Alec.
Thank you.
Anything further? You may step down.
All right, y'all. That's where we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it right there. We're gonna end it right there. He's done, and we got another witness coming up after him, which to me looks like maybe another friend, but I'm not. I'm not for sure, so I'm not gonna say for sure. But let me see if I can play this video. Now, the truth, I'm not gonna be able to stop. I've actually uploaded it to StreamYard.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
So I'm gonna try to play this video, y'all, so D2 can explain to y'all what's going on in it, and then we're gonna get off and go.
Trey, move your video to 132.
132. We'll be through by 111.
That's like a ugly thing. It ain't nothing. I'd probably go to 222 if I pushed it back again.
Oh God, no! Oh my God, it's the numbers for me. It's not gonna be that long, y'all. They being assholes today. I don't know what for. And they help kid. Oh, y'all talking about the snakes? Okay, let me see.
Well, the
Let me
video
see.
has
Let me
the
see
video.
here.
The video has audio, so I don't know. It does have
I
audio.
don't know if it caught the audio when I
All right,
downloaded it, but we'll see.
if it doesn't, I'll talk over it.
No, you're not gonna be able to talk over because it's once I well actually you
Oh, okay.
can. Okay, so once I hit the video, you unmute because it's gonna automatically mute you.
Yeah.
So what you do is unmute and you can
Oh,
talk over it.
okay.
Okay. All right, let me see. Let me see. Oh, and I hope I caught the whole thing. Here we go, y'all. Should I take my banner down? I want y'all to be able to see it. Let me take my banner down. All right, so. Here we go, y'all. This is a reenactment of what they think happened. Um, the reenactment of the murders.
Okay, so they're saying Paul walked into the feed room, was inside, and doing something. They don't know what he was doing, but he was doing something in there. And that's when Alex came in and shot Paul in the chest inside the feed room. So that's how they're saying, see the blood that blood is the blood they have inside the feed room. And they're saying that's how that slug went through the back window. And now Paul is coming out and Alex shoots him again right in the head. That's the two shots for Alex. Okay, so now Alex is laying in front of the feed room, one leg in the feed room, one leg out. Alex reaches down and grabs the other rifle, and Maggie runs back. So Maggie runs back trying to find out what just happened, and that's when Alex shoots her. Right there, they can do it again. Alex shoots her, and then she falls to the ground. Now they're showing you the angles because that was that one in her stomach and in her leg are the two shots that they're saying, and this is from the AR-15, one through the leg, one through the hip, and those bullets hit the doghouse. They say there's two bullets in the doghouse. Maggie falls down. Alex comes behind her, shoots her again just under the armpit, and that one comes out and goes through her head.
Wow.
So that's the way that the prosecutor explains how Alex actually did it. So the guns were actually hidden around the corner because remember, there's a kennel there and a dead chicken. Now remember, they mentioned the chicken. They mentioned the chicken in the video, or I guess in the call. They mentioned the chicken, so maybe the chicken was dead before that. I don't know.
I want to know what happened to the damn chicken.
I think they mentioned the chicken before they were even shot, so the chicken was probably dead. One of them dogs got to that chicken, killed it. But
wow,
it's like that's their explanation of the murder.
How it happened? Yeah.
That he hid the guns on the other side of that dog kennel where the chicken was on top. He put both guns behind there. He goes for the shotgun. Paul walks into the feed room. He goes and gets the gun and shoots Paul point blank. Right there in the feed room. Paul stumbles out he goes. He's standing at the feed room door, and as Paul comes out, he shoots Paul one more time in the head, and that's when Paul falls right in front of the feed room. And they're saying at that time, Maggie starts running back towards the kennel, trying to figure out what's going on. And that's when Alice confronts her with the rifle, shoots her twice. She goes to the ground. He goes behind her and shoots her again. Because he shot Maggie 5 times.
5 times. 5 times. All right, y'all, we gotta go. We late. We gotta go. Thank you, D Truth, so much. We will be back tomorrow, D Truth. If you can come back tomorrow.
All right. I'll see.
All right. Thank you so much. Listen, y'all, listen. Somebody drop Trey's link. We're gonna go over to Money Boy Trey's. Shout out to my True Silver. Shout out to the State Gang. Shout out to my moderators, my monetary contributors. Thank you so much. Hey, Greg. And shout out to The Truth, who I believe he makes this commentary very, very interesting, y'all. I appreciate him so much. And shout out to Trey. But we gotta head on over to Trey to support him. And then I'll be back later, y'all. With that being said, y'all have a blessed, beautiful day. Y'all be safe, be blessed, never stress. And be safe out here in these streets. Not only the real life streets, but the YouTube streets, okay? With that being said, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all hit that link and let's go over to Pettigo. All right. With that being said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Silas Ahuda. I will see y'all later. Bye. Thank you, D True.
Thank you. I'm late.
Yeah.